They never expected me to answer the door. 10 years. 10 years of silence, of being cut out of the photographs, erased from invitations, whispered about like I was the stain on the family name. 10 years of their annual reunions where my chair sat empty, not because I wasn't alive, but because they refused to acknowledge me. And now here they were, standing on the porch of my new house. My house. Their faces pale, eyes darting across marble columns and manicured lawns that screamed of wealth they never thought I'd touch. When I opened the door, I didn't smile. I let the silence drag, let the weight of the years hang between us like smoke. And then, with a calmness they didn't expect, I said, "You finally found the address. Too bad it's no longer yours to enter." Backstory. I wasn't always the outsider. There was a time I believed in Sunday dinners, in family portraits, in laughter around the fire. I believed loyalty was unconditional. But loyalty in my family was transactional. My brother, the golden child, bought it with obedience. My cousins, with flattery. Me? I had the audacity to dream differently, to build a life outside the mold they pressed on everyone else. And for that, I was branded the problem. The final blow came a decade ago, a summer I'll never forget. I drove 3 hours to the lake house for our annual reunion, a tradition, a promise. But when I arrived, the gate was locked. Laughter floated from inside, faint but clear. I dialed their numbers, no answer. It wasn't a mistake, it was a message. We don't want you here. Discovery of betrayal. The photos went up on social media the next day. Everyone smiling on the dock. Everyone except me. My name wasn't tagged. My presence wasn't mentioned. It was as if I'd never existed. That was when the pattern became undeniable. The birthdays without calls, the weddings without invitations, the group chats I was mysteriously left out of. Exclusion wasn't accidental. It was designed. And yet, I didn't break. I studied their cruelty like a blueprint. I understood their hierarchy, their dependencies, their fragile egos. I realized something important. They didn't cut me out because I was weak. They cut me out because they feared what I might become without them. Shift in mindset. So I let them think they had won. I stopped chasing their approval. I stopped begging for scraps of affection. I stopped showing up uninvited. Instead, I turned inward, focused, planned. Every insult, every empty chair at a family table became fuel. I worked in silence, built in shadows, sharpened myself into something they wouldn't recognize. I didn't just climb, I built my own staircase, brick by brick, dollar by dollar. They didn't see it happening because they never looked my way. Execution of the plan. Years passed, and so did opportunities. I took the jobs no one in my family believed in. I invested when they laughed at me. I worked when they drank. I listened when they bragged. And slowly, quietly, my life shifted. The turning point came when I bought the house. Not just any house, the house. The estate on the hill, the one my uncle used to point at during drives saying, "Now that's real money. That's the kind of place our family deserves." Except it wasn't theirs. It was mine. I didn't announce it, didn't boast. I waited. Because revenge isn't served with shouting. It's served with silence and timing. Climax and confrontation. The day they showed up, I knew news had spread. Families like mine thrive on gossip. Someone had whispered, and curiosity brought them to my door like moths to flame. They came dressed for diplomacy, smiles that didn't reach their eyes, compliments dripping with envy. My mother's voice, brittle, "We didn't know you lived here. What a surprise." I let them inside the gates, but not past the threshold. Let them taste the distance, the glass between us. Then I said it, calm, deliberate, every word a blade. You didn't want me at your table for 10 years. This house, this life, it's my table now. And there's no seat left for any of you." Their faces collapsed. My brother's smirk faltered. My mother's eyes welled. My father clenched his jaw. For the first time, they were the ones locked out. Resolution and emotional release. They left in silence, their footsteps heavy against the stone path. I didn't watch them drive away. I closed the door, shut out their shadows, and stood in the home they said I'd never deserve. That night, I poured myself a glass of wine, sat by the window, and thought of the empty chair at their reunion table, the one they had reserved for my absence. Now it was their turn to feel it. Because the truth is, I didn't need their reunion. I built my own. And when they showed up at my house, pale and trembling, they finally understood. I hadn't been excluded. I had ascended.